So I've been skinny for almost my entire life. And I can tell you, man, from experience, being that skinny kid who everybody bullies, girls don't take you seriously just because you're skinny, being joked around a lot with their own family members, it's not a good feeling. So that was me for almost my entire life. So it reached a point whereby, I was just like, fuck this, man. I'm just fed up. So I started looking for some advice for some of my friends who were obviously working out at the gym and looking for some videos on YouTube for, fitness influencers. I was like, let me just start working out and, let me just change my body because, how to sculpture your body is one of those things which most of the time is in your own control. You can control that. Of course, you can't control how tall you are, but majority of the times you can control how you look, especially when it comes to gaining muscles or losing weight. So I started going to the gym. The results, being honest, didn't really come a lot. Like the results didn't come at all. As a matter of fact, I just ended up losing some fat which I had already, some decent amount of fat. So I started becoming shredded, but at the same time skinny because I didn't want to be skinny at the same time having definition. No, 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 no. I wanted to get muscles. I wanted to get big. And maybe also you're on the same shoes which I was back then. That's why you clicked this video. Maybe you're also skinny or skinny fat and you have been starting to work out or you have been going to the gym for like months, hell, even years, but you're not getting the results that you want. So I'm going to explain the mistakes which you are probably doing, or at least what I was doing, and it was really fucking my gains. I wasn't getting the results that I wanted just because I was doing these mistakes. So my first mistake that I did, it was thinking that only working out, it's what is going to get me jacked. So it's like I excluded everything else. I only made working out, that's what's gonna give me, or that's what's gonna make me jacked. Now, that's a very fucked up mentality, especially if you are starting to work out. That makes you to close yourself into a bubble and to only focus in working out. Now, don't get me wrong, working out is good. And as a matter of fact, that's the most important thing, especially if you're again muscles. You have to work out. There is no a cheat code. You have to work out. But for me, what I did, which was a mistake, it's only putting working out as the main way to gain muscles. That was the first mistake that I did. So I I didn't think about things like diet, what I was eating, you know, rest, things like those, how I can improve my workout, I didn't think about that. All I was thinking is lifting weights, working out, that's it. That was the first mistake that I was doing. Now, the second mistake that I was doing, and I know for sure, if you're skinny and you're really working so hard at the gym and you're not seeing any results, I guarantee you, man, this mistake, there's a high chance that you're doing it. And that is diet. Now, listen, I know you've had a lot of things about diet. That diet is also super important, especially if you're against the muscles. You have to really consider about what you're eating, your proteins and everything. But I want to explain it to you why I was not doing my diet correctly, though I knew that diet was important, but I was still not consuming the diet which I was supposed to do, and how I fixed it. So for me, first of all, when it comes to diet, I wasn't really tracking what I was eating, my macros and micros. I wasn't tracking anything. I would just eat healthy. So one of the things which was also hindering me when it comes to diet, it's I thought eating healthy, it's good for me to gain muscles. Now that is true. Eating healthy, it's good for gaining muscles, but not all the time eating healthy means that you are also going to gain some muscles. That is something which a lot of people have in their mind. So when I started working out, I thought if I also eat healthy, then it means I will also gain muscles. Now, the problem is that I was eating healthy, that is true, but I wasn't targeting the amount of calories that I was supposed to consume for me to gain muscles. So I'll give you an example. So at that time, my typical breakfast would consist of 5 eggs, 2 slices of bread, some fruits, and some vegetables, and that's it. And for the dinner, it was around rice, some decent amount of chicken, fruits and vegetables. So right now, looking back and counting the number of calories that I was consuming for the whole day, it was running around 1.8, 1.7 calories, which is so low because compared to how my physique is, I'm about 180 centimeter, how my metabolism is, that was a very small amount of calories for me to gain muscles from it, you know? And that wasn't only it. When I started looking how much of protein I was taking, it was less than 100, you know? Now, just imagine, I was eating healthy. That's obvious. I was eating really healthy. But at the same time, I was really deficient in protein for the purpose of me gaining muscles. So that is the mistake which I had. I thought eating healthy equals to gaining muscles or being jacked. You know, so I was consuming almost like 1.8 calories, 1.8 thousand calories, you know, and my protein intake was less than 100, you know, so it was super, super low. That is why I wasn't gaining any muscles, you know. How can you gain any muscles if you are in caloric deficiency, you know? I was eating a low amount of calories, a low amount of protein. How can I gain muscles from that? No wonder I was getting shredded, but I wasn't getting any muscles, you know? I wasn't getting big, but I was getting shredded. So that was the mistake which I did. So if you're also starting to work out, especially if you're skinny, and you're thinking that I'm also gonna start eating healthy, bro, eating healthy all the time doesn't mean that you're also gonna get jacked. That's not true at all. Try to track what you're eating, you know? If it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, just track them. And at the end of the day, try to conclude how much calories you are eating per day, especially the amount of protein. I guarantee you, if you are a skinny person and you've been working out hard at the gym and you haven't seen any results, this may be one of the most important things that you're not doing while you are doing your fitness journey, you know? So track what you're eating, it is super important. So how I tackled this, it was actually very simple. I calculated the amount of calories that I'm supposed to have in a day. So it's like the average calories which I have to consume for my body, you know? That was the first thing. After I got the number, then I added more because I wanted to gain muscles. That means I have to eat in a calorie surplus, you know? 2,000 calories. That is the amount of calories which I have to consume in a day, you know? So I added more calories so that I can start gaining some muscles. So I started consuming 2,500 calories. So I added 500 more calories so that I can gain some muscles. So after that, I tracked what I'm supposed to eat, the amount of calories. Then I started eating in a calorie surplus. And also, what I also calculated is the amount of protein that I'm supposed to take. So how I did that is very simple. I tried to see, like, to figure what source of protein do I usually consume daily, you know? So things like chicken breasts, you know, eggs, fish, that is something which I usually consume weekly. So after I did that, I calculated the amount of protein in each protein source. You know, for example, 100 grams of chicken breasts can give me roughly 30 grams of protein, you know? One egg is going to give me around 6 grams of protein. Like, okay, I know if I eat 5 eggs, then I'm consuming 30 grams of protein. If I eat 300 grams of chicken breast, then I'm consuming 90 grams of protein, you know? So I plused everything and I knew what I was consuming. So that is the most important thing. Track what you're eating, know what you're supposed to eat for you to gain the muscles, you know? And listen, the good thing is that you don't have to track your food every single day. Once you track them once, you know, you can prepare some small portions. For example, if it's rice, you can prepare a small vessel, you know, or a small cup of rice. You measure it for the first time, then you get the amount of calories which fills up that portion of the rice, you know, that portion of the cup of the rice. After that, if you do it once, then you don't even have to track every time what you're eating. You just know, like, this portion consists this amount of calories, you know, and you're good to go. So track what you're eating, bro. Track what you're eating. There's a high chance that you're not getting any muscles because you are just not eating. So I was going all in, but in actual sense, I was losing muscles because I thought eating healthy equals getting jacked. But in actual sense, I was in a calorie deficiency and I wanted to gain some muscles, which just doesn't work. So track what you're eating. Track what you're eating, bro, and I guarantee you for sure, there's a high chance if you are skinny and you are still working out very hard and you're not getting any muscles or gaining any muscles, there's a high chance it is because of what you're eating. So track what you're eating. So that was the second thing which I did and I fixed. So after that, I started knowing what I'm eating in a day. So for example, for breakfast, I usually have 5 eggs. That is almost 30 grams of protein. It depends. 5 to 6 or 7 eggs, so that I can get around 30 plus or 40 grams of protein just from eggs. And also, I would also consume chicken breast. So I usually get 300 grams of chicken breast too. So that gives me roughly 90 grams plus the 40 grams from the eggs. That is almost 120, 130. So that's for the lunch, for the lunch part. So I started tracking everything, and once I started tracking everything, I immediately started noticing changes in my body. I immediately started noticing that I'm gaining some muscles. Immediately, like once you start fixing your diet or what you consume, you will immediately start noticing changes on your body. Now, for the part of calories, it can be very tricky, especially for a person who doesn't like to eat a lot. But always make sure that the protein part, you nail it every single day. If you can't get the whole amount of protein from food, then just purchase any protein powder, any whey protein, but just always try to get sufficient amount of protein. It's super important. Very, very important. So if a person who doesn't eat a lot, which is like me, I don't like eating a lot, one thing which I usually did, or one thing which I did, I started implementing some snacks, not fruits, because fruits are good, but sometimes they don't have enough calories. So for me, I implemented some snacks. So things like yogurt, they have a lot of calories. For example, I'm going to show you something. For example, this is a yogurt. It's a Chinese brand. I live in China. So this is a yogurt, and it has almost, let's see, it has almost 400 calories. So if there's a day I haven't eaten a lot, but I want to get some quick calories, I just grab one and I'm good to go. So just eating this one or just consuming this one, I get almost 400 calories. Now, I don't do that every time, but if there's a day maybe I slack a little bit, but I want to get the full amount of calories that I usually consume, I grab a snack, a drink, like a yogurt, something which has dense calories, and I consume it, and I'm good to go. Overall, just track what you're eating. There's a high chance that you're not gaining muscles. If a skinny person, is because you are not eating a lot. Eat a lot and always nail the amount of protein that you're supposed to put in your body. It is super important. Now, the third thing which I was doing and I didn't even notice, it's rest. I wasn't putting my body to have enough rest. So this is even very fun. So there's a point whereby I was really focused in working out, to a point whereby I wasn't even having any rest in a week. So I would go to the gym 7 days. Let's say Monday I would do chest, Tuesday shoulders, let's say Wednesday back, Thursday legs, Friday maybe arms and chest again. Saturday I will do shoulders and back. Sunday I will do, for instance, legs again. So I wasn't giving my body to rest. I was just going all in. And I thought, like I said before, the only thing that I was thinking at that time is that going to the gym or working out is gonna mean being jacked. Our muscles or our body build up when you're having rest. Our muscles don't build up when you're working out or when you're eating. Now, they build up and become stronger when you're having rest. So your body needs some time or some rest so that it can build up and come back stronger. I remember even there are some times whereby I used to go to the gym, maybe let's say for instance on Monday, I worked on my chest, right? And on Wednesday, I also want to work on my chest. So sometimes I would still feel soreness on my chest, but I would still go harder than Monday, which is completely opposite. If you still feel sore in any particular muscle in your body, it means it still hasn't fully recovered. You should have some rest or at least train some other body parts until those muscles get recovered. So for me, it was the opposite. I wasn't getting any rest. And this also is something which a lot of people do. They don't give their body to get enough rest. That also something which I was doing as a mistake. I wasn't getting enough rest so that my muscles can have enough time to build up and become stronger. Now, there are some things also you should keep in mind, which I also implemented after I was fixing my mistakes, are things like progressive overload. So there are two ways to go around this. It's either you increase the number of reps or sets that you do, or you increase the number of weight that you lift. So I also implemented that, and also I believe that also really pushed my gains to go to the fullest, to just started also noticing my gains much faster. But yeah, that's it, guys. There's a high chance that you're doing at least two mistakes from what I've told you, and by fixing those, I know for 100% it's gonna help you to start getting some muscles, gaining some muscles. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.